Peace, y'all. What's up? It's your boy Stuby Kas, better known or also known as soon to be known All Star, soon to be known as All Star. um, so we are doing a new edition of the Freestyle Fridays. Today is July 17th, 2020. We have a special guest this evening. What's up, Lady Zay in the house? Our special guest is none other than C Bleu, prodigy, star, outstanding rapper. We will bring her in a moment here, but in the meanwhile, how y'all been? How y'all doing? How y'all doing on this Friday? What's going on? What's good with you? What's popping? With me, I've been doing pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Just trying to make sure that you stay masked up. You know what I'm saying? Trying to make sure that we staying safe out there because COVID is still a thing. Coronavirus is out there, snatching people. Ladies, good to see you. Spectacular. But yeah, y'all got to make sure y'all stay safe out there. And without further ado, we're going to get it started. C Bleu. I see you, Greg IT. Greg Newman. Now we mirror nature in the chat. C Bleu. Welcome. Peace. How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for joining us on this Freestyle Friday.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, for sure. I found out about you first when I found out about SOSA. I was actually at a Lupe Fiasco IT concert, and he brought you out on stage.
Yeah.
You was in the crowd rapping along with some of his stuff, and he brought you on stage. And you spit some verses, spit some bars, and you torched the stage. You had everybody in the front row like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And all the people in the back just like gradually like, "Oh my gosh!" Like I was in the way back, so I could see the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm glad you're on. Can you tell the people a little bit about your kind of top line? Who are you? Where are you from? What you represent?
Okay, well, I'm 14. My name is C Bleu. I'm a rapper from Compton, California. I also engineer and starting to make beats now. I've been rapping for about 11 years now.
Wow.
Really getting serious for the past 3.5 years. Just building up my brand, my C Bleu brand, and just going at it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, and SOSA, I've been there since I was 11, and they taught me a lot of great things. So, yeah,
Nice.
just here.
So you say you've been rapping 11 years?
Yeah, since 3. I'm 14 now.
Wow. So tell us a little bit more about that because, that's kind of hard for me to fathom. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because 3 years old, a lot of people. This is before kindergarten. This is before people develop like sentence structure when they learning how to talk. So like, tell us more about like what was it that actually started you on that?
Well, my dad, he was a rapper back then, and I kind of got into the music because of him. And like he always had music on and beats on, and then he had told me like this story where it was one time where we was in the car and like I just started busting, you know what I'm saying? And it was like I was at 3 and I was just busting, and like he was saying that some of it wasn't making sense, but I still had that rhythm, that flow and stuff like that.
So
So
you were freestyling?
yeah, basically.
Was
Basically,
it on a Friday?
I don't know.
It might have been a Friday. It might have been a Freestyle Friday for you. Maybe you initiated Freestyle Friday way before any of us ever came up with the idea.
Right. Yeah. But no, yeah, ever since then, I came up with like 8 bars after that day. We recorded it, and ever
At
since then,
3.
At 3, yeah, at 3.
You gonna have to share that with me one day on the IT tip, because I got to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
But yeah. I mean, music has always been natural to me. I mean, with anything, even if it's not rapping, like I just love listening to music.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, we are glad to have you on, because it's rare to have somebody who has been rapping for the percentage of your life that you've been rapping. Like most people who have been rapping for a long time can't even say they've been rapping the percentage of time of your life that you've been rapping. So that's very dope, and that's definitely gonna put you in a position of 10 years, 20 years down the road.
Right.
Even now even now we know you're dope. Like, people, y'all should check out the latest work. Your latest work is called Light Work, actually.
Yes.
We gonna get into that a little bit later, but
Okay.
just the fact that you got bars now, and it's cats out there still with struggle bars. We
Right.
in the like
Yeah.
we're not gonna like name no names or nothing, but struggle bars are still
Right.
a thing that's prevalent. So let's get into these 16 bars of these questions that we're going to ask, so that we can kind of find out, pick your brain, and see, where you stand on what's going on today, and how you feel about freestyle, how you feel about life as a freestyle, as a metaphor, and so on and so forth. So you ready?
Yep.
I bet. Let's go. So on past episodes, we've spoken of the youth being very close to their freestyle roots as individuals who have freer spirits. As a matter of fact, it was Senza Infinite last week who I believe we spoke about, her involvement with younger kids, and kind of seeing like how they're expressing themselves as more of a freestyle thing. As you look around at the people older than you, and the people in your age group and younger, do you find that people that are older are much more on the rails and kind of rigid and structured, and kind of stuck on certain things than yourself and your younger counterparts?
Like when you mean by on the rails, you mean like sustain like success? Like you mean success?
No, just more just more like with freestyle, there's a little bit there's a lot of wiggle room. You can kind of go in a lot of different places. Now, when you freestyle rap, of course, there's still like certain structures that you have to follow, like rhythm, rhyme, and timing and stuff like that. But when it comes to freestyling in general, just like improvisation as a rule, do you feel like older people or younger people are better at improvisation and better at kind of expression through freestyle?
Well, honestly, I would say it really just depends on experience, because I feel like if, you know, you could be young and how you have more experience than that older person, in most cases, like you would see or you would feel like the older person, has more, like, they know more. But like if that young person, I mean, if that older person, if they been like doing music or if they've been freestyling for, you know, a week ago, and
Mm-hmm.
opposed to somebody that's been freestyling like since say
Years
me
and
back
years and years, yeah.
3, like I'm gonna have more experience, I'm gonna really know more. So I feel like it really just depends on experience. If you have more experience, then you most likely are gonna like be better at that thing. So yeah.
Definitely, yeah. So get your bars up, everybody out there. Take your time, put the time in, and
Right.
maybe you can catch up with C Bleu one day. As a new beat maker, you talk about being a beat maker, engineer, producer. As a kind of a new, you have a musical background, and experience, but you're just now starting to actually, tap the pads and get into
Right.
the actual creation part. So as a new beat maker, you're likely experimenting with new sound combinations and patterns and stuff like that. How much of your beat making process is intuition versus are you looking for a certain formula that you're trying to like get exact?
Well, yeah, like you said, I really just started to get into like the beat making and engineering and stuff like that. So, really, I'm just really just trying to find my niche and,
Mm-hmm.
my sound really,
Mm-hmm.
messing with a few like sounds and stuff like that, and just really getting a feel for it, because honestly, right now, like I don't really have a formula or, go off of right now. But, just if I stay at it and I, continue, like I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna have that sound, I'm gonna be great at it. So
Nice,
yeah.
nice.
Yeah.
Okay, so as you know, as a rapper like us,
Right.
metaphor saturates every corner of our lives. We study this stuff in all kinds of books and all kinds of discussions. What metaphors are you beginning to glean for yourself out of this unprecedented time of political upheaval and social distancing and like, you know, the threat of a virus, a pandemic across the world? What kind of metaphors are you able to extrapolate out of that?
Let me think. Probably, probably time is, let me see. Time has stopped, but we're still moving.
Okay.
And what I mean by that is that, like, even though, you know, like at this time right now, when this first started, Corona and everything, a lot of people felt like the world was just, you know, it was on a hold, you know what I'm saying? And that's how I truly felt. It was like on a hold, but, you know, obviously time is still moving, but we feel like it's on hold. And like, even through that, like, we still have to keep moving. Us as people, we still have to survive. We still have to provide for our families. We still
Right.
have to go out and chase our dreams. Even though 2020, you know, for some people, especially me, like, I feel like, you know, even though it's, you know, been a bad year so far, like, we still can accomplish things that we still want to do. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that shouldn't hold us back. You know, like I said, time has stopped, but we still have to keep moving. You know what I'm saying? So
I
yeah.
feel it. I feel it. The heart keeps beating. You know what I'm saying? Life goes on, right? And speaking of hearts, as y'all hear these dope questions, let me make sure I'm like PG-13 here. As we hear these dope questions and these dope answers, right? We are making sure to hit that like button down in the bottom right corner, making sure to hit those beats to make sure the heart is beating as we
Right.
continue on, right? So these dope answers, these bars, right? We can keep it going. So, have you ever had a moment during a stage performance, because you're a rapper, where you've
Right.
had to freestyle your way through the performance, whether it's a portion of it or even like an extended freestyle that you were just like, I'm gonna just keep going with this. Like, has
Right.
that ever happened, or can you tell us a time when that did?
Well, for that question, I think like none of my performance never got to that point where it was just like, you know, I forgot my lyrics or something like that, you know, or,
Because
you
you're
know,
always on point.
yeah. Well, I have to stay on point, you know what I'm saying? I got to keep, you know, a reputation up. But I mean,
Right.
I feel like, I never had like a moment where it was just like this big mishap, but I feel like in that situation, what I would do is I would just have to do what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? I respect a lot of people who do freestyles and stuff like that. I feel like the art of it is just dope. You know what I'm saying? For me, I love taking my time with things. You know what I'm saying? I love to like piece it together how I want to. You know what I'm saying? Really make it make sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, for me, like, yeah, like I said, I like to piece it together and stuff like that. So, uh, what was I gonna say? Um, yeah, as far as that, like freestyling, like, yeah, I would just have to do what I have to do. You know what I'm saying? If I have to freestyle, then I'm a freestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You're equipped, is what you're saying, but you ain't never had to use it.
Yeah, right. But if
Yeah.
I have to, yeah, I'm a freestyle for sure. But you know, I
Yeah.
never had like this big mishap where it was just like, oh, I forgot my lyrics, you know, and stuff like that. You know, always stay
Yeah.
on.
Right. I mean, when you've been rapping since 3 years old, I mean, it's literally like breathing and drinking water and stuff, right? So, like, yeah, I can see that. Um, so, uh, speaking on kind of like your regionality, right, and where you come from, you grew up relatively close to where the movie Friday was set, but even more, you know, and this is Freestyle Friday, so I'm bringing up Friday for that reason. But also, my name is Craig. A lot of people don't know my name is Craig, so like I get the whole Friday thing all the time, especially now that I
Right,
live in LA. So
right.
but even more than that, Straight Outta Compton was even closer and released more recently. How much do those movies and other South Central LA and Compton-based film and TV shows and stuff like that, how much do those things influence the culture around you? Do you feel like it's just saturated, or do you feel like, maybe you're kept away from that a little bit because it might be like a little too rough around the edges for you? Or
Right.
is it just like something that is just like, what's up, Craig? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right, right. Honestly, for that question, I feel like it's kind of like hard to measure because, you know, like it honestly depends on who you are because those films, like it has good things and bad things. You know what I'm saying? you know, some people or some kids that's looking at it, they might think like, oh, you know, I gotta go out and go kill somebody, you know what I'm saying? Or, you know, they think of those bad things as, oh, I want to go do that. Or they take those bad things and be like, I don't want to do that because, you know, this person got caught up in the movie, you know, da 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 da. But yeah, honestly, I just feel like it just depends on who you are and how you take it. Because yeah, those movies have good and bad things. And for me, like those movies are dope and funny, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, especially Friday, that's one of my favorite comedy movies, period. So but yeah, I definitely say it depends on who you are and how you take it.
Definitely. Rest in peace to John Witherspoon.
Yep.
So you're going into high school now. You said you're
Yeah.
14, and this is 2020, and we're in this really weird time where, you know, classes are being held on like Zoom and all kinds of like online, you know, video streaming platforms.
Right.
This is obviously going to be a very unorthodox high school experience for your entire graduating class for the next 4 years, perhaps, or at
Yeah.
least for the next, you know, couple. So have you talked to your friends about how you're going to tackle this? Like, do you feel y'all have any say in like what is high school going to mean for us? You know what I mean?
Right. Honestly, oh my God. Like when I was going into this year, like I was like, man, I'm gonna do a whole bunch of things, you know, with my friends, and like it's just so messed up that my 8th grade graduation didn't go proper how I wanted to. But I feel like yeah, we definitely talked about it. Honestly, I don't even know because like, you know, I don't know if we gonna have masks on, and you know, like we're gonna have to sit 6 feet away from, you know, people, or like the classes are gonna be broken up, or you know, how is lunch gonna be, like, you know, we definitely talked about that. And honestly, I feel like staying home is safer. I feel like staying home is safer.
It is.
Because if we're going out, like we don't, you know, some people probably don't even believe in corona, you know what I'm saying? They don't believe in the sickness and stuff like that, and they feel like it's not important. So I just feel like we just feel like that, you know, it's kind of hard to like put down because, you know, we don't know what to expect. But I feel like the Zoom classes, even though, you know, we don't get to see our friends or whatever, I feel like it's safer to stay home.
Yeah. And you know, to the point you made, like we have
Right.
all these technological platforms right now that allow us to be able to stay at home and do these things.
Right.
So as long as it's not prohibitively expensive and, you know, super difficult to get people to be able to jump on, then
Exactly.
it's something that maybe we should think about implementing for the youngins as well as the college people, you know, and everybody that really needs to kind of get together
Right.
for class type experiences. So we'll see what happens out of that. But you know, I
Yeah.
applaud you and your friends for you know having discussions and trying to plan and plot and see what are we
Yeah.
gonna do. You know,
Definitely.
it's crazy.
I mean, we got to talk about it because I feel like if you hold all of that in, like, you know, I feel like it's not healthy because for me, I want to speak my mind. I want to tell, you know, people how I feel about this. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's crazy right now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that's definitely a bar. So um, you know, you are a multifaceted creator.
Hmm.
With you make music, you rap, you write, you do fashion because we've seen you actually have like fashion shows that you've run, right?
Yep.
That's dope. And then you also, you know, you make sure to wrap everything in a positive messaging. So do these outlets that you have to express yourself help you feel more free as a person?
Um, yes, I definitely do because I feel like with my music, me making my merchandise, I get to express myself. And that's with all of my music, whether, you know, anything that I'm rapping about, I'm always expressing myself and how I feel. So, yeah, I definitely feel like that's making me freer as a person. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Good. Do you feel like freedom comes from also from somewhere or something other than your creative output? Do you feel like, you know, you have an inherent freedom that you express, or do you feel like by expressing yourself, you're
Right.
creating the freedom for yourself?
Hmm. Well, outside of music and outside of creating, I'll definitely say like something that makes me feel free. I love looking at nature. I love this. I love environmental science. I love learning about the outside and how it works.
Yeah.
So I feel like that makes me feel freer as a person. And does listening to music count as like making myself feel free as a person?
I think so. I think consuming, nature or consuming, and experiencing things that you're not creating can give you a sense or it can help you tap into what it is that you find in yourself that may be the liberation or the freedom that we all have when we come into the planet. You know what I'm saying? Like as we get here, we're babies, we just freestyle and everything is like
Right,
until you
right,
start to
yeah,
figure out, narrow down
yeah,
what is what. So yeah, experiencing that it definitely kind of helps you tap into certain things, and that then empowers you to then be able to freestyle with more purpose,
right.
as you go along. So yeah. So here's a question: um, what is one of your favorite concepts, whether it's a metaphor or just a subject matter, to hear in a song or for you to write about? Like, what's the
Hmm.
favorite thing of yours? Like, man, I love when people talk about this, or I love when people use this metaphor.
Right, right. Honestly, like just subject matter. I love when people talk about their struggle because, well, talk about their struggle and like how they overcame that. Um, you know, because like I like hearing, other things than just like what people have. How did you get up out of your situation? You know what I'm saying? I love hearing that, and I love hearing the passion that's behind it, because that's
Yeah.
basically how I listen to music. Like honestly, like I care about what you're talking about. If you're just talking about something totally like crazy that's out of the norm, of what I like hearing, then but if you have that passion, and I feel everything that you're saying, yeah, definitely I'm on your side. But yeah, I definitely love when people talk about their struggle and how they came out of that. As far as metaphors, um I mean, I love conceptual songs. Like Lupe Fiasco does it the best. I mean, like he does it the best, like that, and that's the main reason why I love him, because it's just everything that he does is just so effortlessly put together. But yeah, as far as like conceptual metaphors, yeah, like I would say if it's a concept, like let me see, I'm trying to see an example, like hmm, um as far as metaphor, let me see.
I mean,
Like
a lot of people, go ahead, go ahead.
no, no, you go ahead and say what you no, say what you was gonna say.
Now, I was going to say a lot of people in rap, tend to talk about, their skill from like a kind of, I don't want to, let's see, like a projection, right? Everything is like a projection from either the mind, from the heart, from the mouth. And it's
Right.
always, like rat-a-tat-a-tat or spit, spit, spit or whatever. So it's always this projection. Do you feel like metaphor when it comes to rap is mostly about projection, or do you feel like it's about painting pictures and just like standing
That
back?
is definitely painting a picture, because sometimes those metaphors get lost, and some people like they don't, some people they just don't understand it, and it's like you really got to like listen to it more. But I feel like if you're painting a picture, like that's definitely something that people can gravitate to, because it's like, okay, I can relate to this, you know what I'm saying? Like you're painting this picture that I understand. So yeah, I definitely say that, yeah.
Yeah. What's up, Lay Raj in the chat saying
Yeah.
hello.
What's up, my ITs? Thank you guys for joining. I really
Right?
appreciate.
Yeah. We got full circle members, and we have um dang, I can't believe I forgot the name of y'all class. Ooh, I'm in trouble. I'm about to be in trouble. Lux. Well, it's you know why? It's because I hear two different pronunciations. That's what it is.
Mm,
Lux Primus or Lux Primus. I tend to go with Lux Primus, but it messes me up when I hear people say Lux Primus because it's
right.
just like, all right, But Lux Primus, of course, first light.
Yeah.
So speaking of which, uh, with your outstanding star potential, first light, right? As a child prodigy, You have garnered attention of some of the music industry greats and other elder cornerstones of the larger Black community and beyond. What's some great advice that you've received from your mentors that you can maybe relay to the people here?
Okay, one, my bad.
You
The
good?
main one that I say that I get from a lot of people is, yeah, the main one that I get from a lot of people is that just to keep going. Keep
Mm-hmm.
going. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main one. And let me see. I'm trying to find a more specific one. But a lot of, and some people tell me too about my like if my breathing techniques. So if if I'm going on stage, like you gotta have, first of all, your voice has to be in the right condition. So your breathing techniques is very important, and I feel like I take that very seriously going into my performances and stuff like that. And
Yeah.
also another one is study the greats. You know what I'm saying? Study the people that came before you, because like that's the main one, because I feel like some people right now, it's like they forget about people who came before us. You know what I'm saying? We're not the first people to do it. I feel like definitely study the greats. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Don't forget where you came from. Don't ever forget where you came from, because the further back you go, the more legacy you can tap into. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
that's always a good one. Um, all right, so to the next question. We know that freestyle exists in many aspects and many facets of life. What is your favorite version of freestyle to enjoy outside of rap? You mentioned being out in nature, and we say life is a freestyle, so we can look at nature and just straight up look at a tree and be like, that's freestyle right there.
Right.
But for you, do you have a favorite, like something, whether it's jazz, whether it's dance, whether it's like,
Very.
art, whether it's like poetry? What is it that really tickles your fancy?
Um, what do I like to do? I like to read. I'm gonna say that. I like to read. But I want to
But
find,
in terms of freestyle though.
yeah, in terms of freestyle, yeah,
Okay.
exactly. Um, let me see. Hmm. Well, honestly,
Yeah.
what do I like to do in terms of like freestyle? Like, cause I know you gave me examples like dance or
Yeah,
art.
yeah. Just anything out in the world that's not rap that you could interpret as this is improvisation, this is freestyle, this is something that happens spontaneously. You know what I'm saying?
Um, maybe. Well, I would say TikTok.
Okay.
TikTok, yeah. I
That's
mean,
actually a really good example. That's a good
yeah,
example.
I would say TikTok, because like when you're on there, like you're gonna dance and stuff like that. But you can, other than dancing, like you could just do like different challenges that's on there. So,
Right.
but like that's an outlet. I feel like I guess I could be free on. So
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah, or freestyle or do on the fly, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Um,
The virality of things that catch on
right,
TikTok. The fact that you don't really know what's gonna catch on. People
right,
just go out and do something, and then you end up seeing that something just ends
yeah,
up turning into a whole thing, and
right,
everybody's doing it. You know what
right,
I'm saying? So yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
That is that. Go ahead.
Yeah, I would definitely say TikTok. I would say TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. That's interesting because when we talk about life being a freestyle and we look at like the concept of virality, right? And
Right.
how something catch on like wildfire and just propagate throughout social media and like the culture and stuff like that. That
Yeah.
have it people say that it takes on a life of its own, right? Which is kind of a metaphor to a certain degree. And so it, the fact that that life is freestyling its way into the hearts and minds of people, and it spreads and it spreads and it spreads. That's kind of like an embodiment of our metaphor here at Life is a Freestyle on Freestyle Fridays. So very dope insight. That was a bar. Again, that was, I think we're at 10 bars now, so you got six more to get that full stack, right?
Right.
So we're gonna go to question number 11. What advice would you give your peers that are interested in musical pursuits like yours?
Hmm. What would I give to people that's like me? Okay, well, I definitely feel like if you're gonna go out and do what I do, you're gonna have to love it. And that's with anything. you have to love what you're doing. You have to like it. You have to want to do the work that to go and do that. So what's some advice? Like,
That dedication is important. You
yeah,
know
that
what I'm saying?
definitely
Yeah.
important. I would say stay consistent. Stay very consistent because, you know, yeah, stay consistent because like you said, dedication. Like when you're going into doing stuff like this, it takes a lot of consistency. Like you can't like one day you can't like you work on your craft, right? And you only do it for that one day out of the whole week. You should be doing it every single day. You should be
Right.
doing it every single day. And that's what I say for anybody. Like,
Yeah.
if you only doing it once a week, where is that getting you? You know what I'm saying? Like for me, I write, like something like it's always something that's going through my mind, whether I have a beat on or not. Like stuff is always going through my mind. So like, yeah, I would definitely say stay consistent with anything. So yeah.
Definitely. All right. Appreciate that. Here's one. So according to dictionary.com, the word incept means to take in or to ingest. As we experience daily life, we sometimes incept conceptual metaphors without knowing it. How would you break down for your fans this idea of you are what you eat as a notion to be aware of the tricky nature of signs and symbols?
Hmm. Well, uh, well, the metaphor, you are what you eat, you
Mm-hmm.
know, obviously we know it as like whatever you take, like whatever you eat, that's, if you eat something bad, you know, then you're most likely are going to end up either with, health problems or diabetes, etc. Right. And I
Mm-hmm.
feel like that relates back to music,
Mm-hmm.
in a way that like, if you're listening to nonsense in music or bad vibes, meaning that
Mm-hmm.
you listen to things like depression or, suicide or drugs, sex, or like not using your money, right, like that type of stuff. Like if you listen to that, if you listen to those type of things, like you're probably gonna most likely be influenced to go do those things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like yeah, you are what you eat. So those type of things, it goes into your subconscious. It goes into your subconscious, and it goes into your spirit. Those bad
Mm-hmm.
vibes are gonna go into your spirit and stuff like that. And just
And
like,
then you could end up with like the spiritual or the mental version of diabetes or
right,
other kinds of diseases too when you do that.
exactly. So
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Just like food rots in your body, and just like bad vibes could rot in your spirit.
Mm.
So I feel like, yeah, that's what I feel like.
Bars, bars,
Yeah.
bars, bars. Appreciate it. As rappers, we are familiar with intentional
Wait, hold.
ambiguity. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Dad, can you give me my charger? It's in my room. Thank you.
You gotta keep that charge.
Yeah,
It's
I
all
don't.
good. So yeah, as you know, we talk about intentional ambiguity a lot. I know that some of our mentors are very keen on ambiguity. Uh, Also, wordplay, multiple meanings for one statement, double entendres, and stuff like that. The title of your last project, Light Work, seems to
Mhm.
have at least two meanings that I could think of. Can you
Right.
briefly talk about the naming of the project and how you carried the concept throughout the project?
Okay. Well, light work. Light
Mm-hmm.
work is exactly what it means. Light work. Um, I'm put this in this project. I'm putting out uh light work of what else I have to offer in the future. This is just a sample of what I have to offer. Um, and I feel like in my project before, and I feel like this project is it's more of a mature C Bleu, because in my last project, which was just a kid, it was more about, people in general just underestimating me, and just telling me I'm just a kid, you know what I'm saying? And really that's not true. I have more to give out. I'm more than just a kid, you know what I'm saying?
And
And I
I've been rapping longer than you too. You know what I'm saying?
right. So, and just the kid is like, it's more kid content, type of songs. It's kind of catchy. In this in this project Lightwork, it's catchy songs too, but it's also more of lyrical content. You know what I'm saying? I'm really showing people that I do this. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so yeah, Lightwork is really just like a sample of what else that I have to offer. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Also, Lightwork is like, I feel like I was lit on the track. You know, I mean, I was lit on.
Oh, okay.
I was lit. And I feel like I was putting out or displaying some fire music, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, that's really, yeah.
I feel
That's
it. And the one that I caught was, this idea of, when we talk about spirituality and doing light work and spirituality, that's doing,
right.
the kind of work that's positive, that's uplifting, that's inspirational, you know what I'm saying? And that can be kind of a beacon of hope for people, who are looking for that kind of hope and that positivity. So, you being positive in that way, definitely, you being positive in that way definitely kind of makes it, work that is bringing light to people, and
Right.
enlightening people, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I definitely think that was another one too.
Yes.
Um, cool. So, and sometimes, and it happens for all of us, sometimes we come up with names for things, or we come up with bars, and we don't even know how many entendres there are to go along with it. We'll like go back and do the
Yes.
entailments later and be like, wait a minute,
Right.
that means that too, and then two lines
Yeah.
later I said this, and oh my gosh, I
Exactly.
didn't even know I was doing that.
Right.
So
Right.
it's
Yes.
wild, yeah.
That's
All
dope.
right.
That's dope.
So last three questions, and then we can maybe we probably have some time to open it up and have a little bit more of a back and forth with the folks in the comment section. So
Okay.
keep smashing that like button, y'all, because we're gonna get to y'all in a minute. What is one of the biggest takeaways from your 2019-2020 school year? You kind of mentioned this earlier, but from like an academic standpoint, what do you feel
Okay.
like was the biggest thing that you learned in this last year?
The biggest thing I learned,
Or the coolest thing, even?
the coolest thing, I'm gonna say probably in my science class, um, I learned about I learned about a lot of things too, actually. But I learned about how light works. Like light, I learned about how light works. You know what
Wow.
I'm saying?
You
Yeah,
see, y'all don't
and
understand that this person is a genius. Okay, she
thank
just she
you.
just completely just hits y'all with the like. I'm just gonna segue. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just that y'all.
Thank
I
you.
want to see some prayer hands in the comments for that one right there, please.
Thank you,
But yeah.
thank you. But yeah, I was just learning about light and how like reflection, or no, colors, period. Like it it determines how the light is gonna shine, and it, like the reflection from like different colors. Like say for the rainbow, like we had like this little experiment where it was like a mirror and it was a mirror, a light, a flashlight, and a what is it called, like a CD. And so we flashed the light from the CD to the mirror, and it made like on the wall, like we had a wall, and it like showed all these different colors and stuff. So it was like, dang, like this is like really cool. Like, we learned how light actually works and how reflection determines, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
yeah, I
Right.
felt like that was one of the most coolest things that I've seen, you know what I'm saying?
That's dope. And the funny thing is, like, we as human beings at this time in 2020 still don't know that much about how light works. We
Right,
still like, some people think it's a particle, some people think it's a wave, some people think it's both at the same time. You do the
right.
double slit experiment and you can see that there's some inconsistencies with the way certain, models of how light works.
Yeah,
So, you know, the more that we kind of study stuff, the more that we have an opportunity to conceptualize how
right.
things work, or maybe, you know, discover, oh, this works this way. So what if I applied that knowledge to this over here, and
Right.
maybe we can make some kind of contraption that like creates this light or reflects this light and does this. So the fact
Exactly.
that, you're learning these types of things is great. And,
Yeah.
we need learning to be something that is fun for people, because that is how we're going to pull ourselves out of the rut of 2020. Because a lot of people, unfortunately, didn't learn a lot
Right.
in school. You know, when it comes to
Right.
like, oh, cover your mouth. You know, don't cough out into the air.
Right.
You know, wash your hands. Like these are things that you knew probably at the age of 3. You know what I
Right.
mean? And here we are creating this pandemic because people don't know how to do certain things. And
Right.
so, you know, learning how light works, learning how bacteria and epidemiology and all the kind of things that make people sick, learning
Infections,
how
yeah,
that
all
works.
of that.
These are basic things that we actually need to know, or else we may be subject to death. So it's
Right.
very important that we learn. So
Yeah.
I'm glad that you could find something that makes learning fun for you, because we got to attach ourselves to those things and just go down that rabbit hole, because you never know. You may be the pioneer in something that, you know what I'm saying, turns into something greater later down the
Right.
line.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So if you could create your own novel metaphor about life with any kind of comparisons that you want to make, what source domain would you pull from? Because we say life is a freestyle. What would you say life is?
Oh,
And
okay.
there's no right or wrong answer to this. This is just one of those things where, you know, picking your brain, trying to see where your mind's at.
Can you ask the question one more time? Because I kind of want to, yeah. Because I was
Yeah,
gonna
yeah.
ask that, like, what do you mean by novel? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Source domain.
the idea of something being novel is something that is new, or is something that is fresh, or is something that is you know, previously unseen, right? So we have this idea that life is a freestyle. It may not be extremely new, but we're
Right.
trying to bring it into the world, right? So it's novel to people who haven't really thought about how life can actually be a freestyle, right? So
Mm-hmm.
do you have any kind of conceptual metaphors around what life could be from your standpoint?
What life can be. Um.
Or what life is in your mind? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
people say life is a journey. That's the big one. We say life is
Oh.
freestyle. You know, some people say life is war. Some people say life is love. Some people say life is pain. You know
Right.
what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So in your mind, what do you think? Or in your heart, I guess.
Right. Life. Um. Man, this is something I really have to think about.
Okay. We can come back to that one if you want.
Yeah. Can we come back to that one? Yes.
Okay, cool. So here's a more fun question for now. What's
Okay.
at the top of your to-do list once COVID-19 is certified done and is safe to go back into the world? Like, what have you been dying to do that you couldn't do right now?
Well, I've been dying. Well, before COVID and everything, I had a bunch of shows booked up. Like I really wanted to do some shows and like birthday parties and all of that. So yeah, definitely shows and stuff like that, and really getting back in the studio on a consistent level, because it's been kind of like hard getting into the studio.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would definitely say that. And really just coming back and connecting with my friends. Like I
Hmm.
really want to go out with my friends and stuff like that, and it's kind of hard because not a lot of things are open to go. So it's like,
Hmm.
you know, so yeah, I would definitely say those three for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to C Blue's friends. We appreciate y'all for helping her life be light and lighthearted. And also, you know, with you wanting to do shows, like, people, this girl
Hmm.
is a legend in the making. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just wants to work. She just wants to do the work, and that's like the best thing. I've been learning a lot of lessons about doing the work. I'm gonna tell you right now. And this is somebody. This is an example for me, even, of somebody who just does the work and wants to do the work and loves and lives for the work. And
Right.
so it's very important. All you young people out there and all you older people who are dragging your feet, do the work,
Yes.
because once you get into the groove of it, you know, if you've been doing it since 3 years old, it's probably a little bit easier than if you start at 37 or 30, 33 or whatever,
Yes.
right? So
Experience.
definitely, you know, put the time in. It'll become easier for you, and it'll also be more enjoyable. Doing the work will then become not work. It'll become something that you just want to do. And
Right.
so,
Right.
yeah. So that being said, going back to the metaphor, right,
Okay.
about life, I'm gonna give you a little bit of time to think about it. But, you know, what would you say is the source domain that you would pull from to be like, I think life is like this, or I
Right.
think life is this, metaphorically?
Right. Well, I would just straight up say life is a metaphor. Life is a metaphor.
Wow.
Life is a
Wow. And you know
metaphor.
what? That's deep. That's very deep
Yeah.
because, wow,
Yeah.
that's like a metaphor inside of a metaphor.
Right.
That's like using a
That's like triple
metaphor.
entendres. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I feel that. That's like the biggest bar of the day, I think. Life is a metaphor.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all got to think about that one for a second, because what is a metaphor but a way to conceptualize an idea? And
Right.
if life is a
Of life.
way to conceptualize an idea, then that means that living your life is an experience for you to understand an idea,
Right.
a concept. So when your life is over with, you, the person in you that still exists afterwards, if you believe in
Right.
that, or if you return back to the force or return back to the essence or whatever, that
Right.
learned experience that you got from living life and seeing the metaphor of life play out is something that you can then take on to the next stage of what may be life after this planetary existence that we have right now. So
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
because people like to say life is a play. Shakespeare said all the world's a
Right.
stage and stuff like that. So a play is just a metaphor. A song can be an extended metaphor. A poem, a book, all these things can be metaphors. But
Right.
life itself plays out in a lot of ways like it's written,
Right.
like it's conceptualized, like it's something that is trying to show you something, like it's something that's trying to explain something to you. So
Exactly.
that's a bar. That's definitely a
Yeah.
bar.
Yeah. Yep.
So we have about 15 minutes or so left in the
Okay.
hour. We don't have to take it to the full hour, but we do want to see if there's anybody in the comments that has a question or wants to chop it up in the comment section, and maybe we can bring that into a question and some additional extra time. So Lady Zay says, do you think it's important for more girls to get involved with music and production? If so, why?
Okay. So that question is a great question, honestly. Thank you for asking that. So
IT.
this music industry is very, very male dominated. And I feel like girls, like, we need to shine through, you know what I'm saying? I feel like girls are very, very underestimated. And like, we don't get a lot of chances, and I feel like it's our time to shine. It's our time to get that chance. So yeah, I definitely feel like people, like girls in general, we should get more chances to be in the music and production side of that, because like, we know that dudes can do it, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like it's our time to shine. So yeah.
Yeah. And we've learned that some of the first commercial rappers or the first rappers that to get on the radio were
Right.
actually women. And that's a point that you gotta kind of go back and do the knowledge and do the studying to find out who we talking about. But
Right.
we talking about somebody like Sweet T, IT, who had experience in music prior to starting to rap,
Right.
had a little bit of a background, kind of like yourself. And so, we got to think about, the forefathers and the foremothers of hip
Exactly.
hop, because it's not just that it was men only. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
There was a lot of stuff going on, but sometimes things get lost in history because unfortunately it tends to be his story. But it's very important for us to go back and find out who was all there, what they did, what the contributions were, and stuff like that, and to
Exactly.
be inspired to create as women and girls now today, like yourself. And I know you're inspiring a lot of people, younger and older than yourself, who want to come through and be that female voice that maybe their environment doesn't have in it right now. So thank you for
Right.
being able to be that voice and be inspiring for people.
No problem. That's what I feel like I'm here to do, is inspire. Yes.
That's dope. That's dope. Let's see. Do we have any other questions? Let me
Who and
see.
what?
Yeah, who and what inspired you to use your voice at such a young age? I think maybe earlier you mentioned like your dad was a rapper, and then he
Yes.
kind of like was going back and forth in the car with you and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, my dad, he's one of the biggest influencer in my whole life. he taught me the formula. You know what I'm saying? He taught me the formula and how to do this. Without him, I don't know what I would do, honestly. He keeps me going. So yeah, that's one person. And then it's just other people too that I listen to, like Lupe Fiasco, one of the biggest inspirations in my life, for real. Like, he has inspired me a whole lot. Before SOSA, I've been listening to Lupe Fiasco since I was in my mom's stomach. And when I came out, like, he was my favorite rapper. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's like my favorite rapper of all time. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's in my
Hands
top
down,
5.
definitely. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, and I'm sure he does too. What other music or artists besides rap and hip hop do you enjoy listening to?
Wait, what does it say? It says, what other music or artists do you enjoy listening to? Okay, well, who else do I listen to? Well, a girl that I love listening to is Rhapsody.
Yeah,
She's incredible. Incredible.
yeah.
Um,
Shout out to
I feel like, the things that she talks about in her music I feel like I can kind of relate to her a little bit. A lot of people say that I'm like, kind of like, not a mini version of her, but like, like some of the stuff that she talks about is, we kind of relate on the same level. So another person too is Tupac, one of the biggest inspirations too. So
right.
yeah.
Rhapsody definitely one of my favorite MCs. I'm gonna say personally maybe like top 15 of all time for me, just personally, just because of what she represents, what she
Right.
speaks on, and how her technical skill allows her to just beat up the beats. You know what I'm saying? Like, she just be
Right.
going at it. Um, and definitely, of course, Tupac Amaru Shakur, rest in
Yes.
peace. Um, let's see.
Wait, actually, I think, wait, the question, it was besides rap too, right? Was it besides
Besides
rap?
rap, yeah, besides rap.
Okay.
If there's
So
any that you can think of.
besides rap, music that I love to well, nowadays, I love listening to Her. I don't know if you know who that is. Her, yeah. She makes a lot of great music. I'm in love with R&B. Another person I love listening to is Jill Scott. I can listen to her all day long. So, yeah.
Did you see the versus battle with her and
Yes.
Erica?
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah, that was
What'd you think
sick.
of that?
What did I think of that? I felt like, honestly, because like Jill stuff, it was kind of tripping a little bit, but I feel like, yeah, her, Jill, I feel like Jill won. Jill won. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Erica is awesome, but I feel like Jill won because she has that. I feel like Jill has that it factor. Like, she's that sound that everybody can connect to. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like she's having a conversation with you. Like, man, like, yeah,
Okay. Okay.
yeah.
So Jay Hines says, "What is next for C Bleu?"
What is next? Meaning, okay,
So
what
do
is
you
next?
have projects coming up? Do you have some super secret collabs that you sitting on right now? You got some stuff collecting dust that you trying to dust off, or you just trying to hit people with these beats? You got a beat tape coming out? What's going on?
Honestly, what's next for C Bleu? Honestly, what's next? I'm hoping to come out with an EP soon. I'm really trying to come out with an EP soon. Um, I'm working on that, and really just taking this beat making kind of seriously, because for me, I want to do it all. I already rap. I want to produce myself. I want to engineer myself and record myself. So
So you're
yeah.
gonna lock yourself in a room and just cook,
Yes,
and then you're just
yes.
gonna
A
come out.
whole
Here it's
album, you
done.
know what I'm saying?
Here it's
Yes.
done.
Exactly.
Here's the album for July. Here's the
Right.
album for August. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but that's definitely that was next for C Bleu, is this
Okay.
beat making and me coming this all around MC and rapper. So yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, whenever I decide to dust off my rapping skills, I might have to have you tighten up some of my vocals, but we'll see about that. So, do you have any last words as we kind of wrap it up here? I want to make sure that there's plenty of time for you to kind of like, land and pull into the tarmac from the airplane.
Right. Well, I definitely want to say, I want to thank you, everybody, for joining. This means a whole lot. You know what I'm saying? Like, this support is for real. Thank you for having me, Stuby Kas IT. You know
Oh
what
yeah,
I'm
no problem.
saying? Like, you really the big bro. And I really, I don't even think I told you this out loud, but I really want to thank you for purchasing my Lightwork project. That was love
Oh
right
yeah,
there. That was definitely
that's like a no doubt thing. You know what I'm saying? And it was fire. You know what I'm saying? So like, definitely, if y'all have not checked out C Blue's project Lightwork, it's
yeah.
on
All
iTunes, it's
yes,
on Google Play, it's on everything.
yeah.
So go check it out. Light space
And even
work
you don't even
when
want to
you're
look
searching.
in my bio. It has all of the links and everything. So it's in my
Oh
bio.
yeah,
So, yeah, go check that out.
definitely.
I also want to just shout my Blue Magic company out. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys need masks,
Masks, t-shirts, hoodies. You know what I'm saying? You got stuff for the babies. You got stuff for the grown-ups, the dresses. We got a little bit of a connection problem, but I think we're gonna spin this back to where she comes back in like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. A bit more time because I
definitely feel like, okay. Oh, well. So I want to thank everybody for joining. I thank C Bleu for coming through and blessing us with the 16 bars plus. You know, she gave us a little bit of overtime there. And I want to make sure that y'all check us out on lifeisafreestyle.com. We have blog posts. We break down metaphor. We break down the concept of life being a freestyle. We try to attack it from as many different angles as possible. We also are going to be posting this up on YouTube later. So check our Life is a Freestyle YouTube page out as well. And you know what I'm saying? I'm Stuby Kas. You can find me at Stuby_KAS, STUBY_KAS, Stuby Kas, not Stubby, Stuby. I want to shout out everybody in the chat. We got Greg Newman, we got Lady Zay, we got Najee, the artist. I hope I didn't mess your name up, Tay, but that's Tay, Prince Tay, formerly known as. We got who else we got in the chat? Let me see if I can shout some folks out. We got Blue Harlem. We got Jalex F1. We got Jay Hines, I remember. Yeah. And you know, y'all stay safe out there. Coronavirus is still a thing. Keep your mask on if you outside. You know, practice physical distancing. Try not to be running up on people in Costco talking about you're threatening me, I'm threatened, and then get all up in their face. Don't do that. Don't, you know, just chill. We all just trying to get through this together. We gonna make it through this. For those of you who are you know, suffering from COVID right now, we hope you have a speedy recovery. For those of you who have lost somebody to COVID, we you know, send our condolences. And you know, try to stay positive. Try to build something that you can be happy that you built when you come out of COVID lockdown, and you know, we get back to normalcy, whatever that means. Think about what normalcy means for you and see if you can find a way to make it better even than it was before, a 2.0 version, a 3.4.0 version. 4.0, of course, being, I'm assuming, the GPA that C Bleu has because she's a genius. And yeah, actually, I think we might be able to bring her in for one last statement. So let's do that. Let's do that with 1 minute to go.
All right. Thank you for coming back in. We have 1 minute. What you got to say?
okay. My bad. I'm so sorry. My phone
It's all
was
good. Don't even worry about it.
So yeah, the last thing I have to say, yes. So if like I said, if you have t-shirt, if you want t-shirts, mask, anything, I have it. So yeah, just go in the link in my bio. You guys can go get it at babybluegoat.com. That's BABYBLEUGOAT.com. Thank
All
you,
right.
everybody.
Yes.
Peace
All
and
right.
love.
Thanks. Peace. We out, everybody. Y'all have a good one. Freestyle Friday is signing off.